Super Mario Maker seems like one of those games that Nintendo would never make. Seeing that the new Super Mario Bros. Franchise was so successful, it almost seemed counterproductive to make a level creation tool, but lo and behold, here we are with 2.5 entries in the series. Today though, we're talking about the original game because, as with all things, its life is drawing to an end. Starting January 12th, the game will no longer be available for digital purchase, and most online services will shut down completely on March 31st. My time with the game was shorter than a lot of people's, but this game still brought me countless hours of entertainment. So today, let's take a retrospective look at this game. But instead of just making a structured critique like usual, I'd like to share a few stories of my own as well. Without further ado, let's get started. I guess I forgot the intro. Sorry about that. Hey there, I'm Kardino. You know, it's hard to believe that Mario Maker is over 5 years old. I remember first hearing about this game and being fascinated with the idea, even if I didn't have a Wii U at the time. But when I got that Wii U, Mario Maker was one of the first games I picked up. I had so much fun designing and uploading courses, unlocking new parts, and seeing the unique ideas of people around the world. Really, it felt like opening a box of Legos and just being able to make anything you want. And then you could go over to your friends' houses to see what they made, and thanks to its loads of secrets, you were really encouraged to experiment and see what happened. Like, I first remember learning how to make a conditional power-up and my mind being blown. I mean, yeah, it wasn't that big of a discovery in retrospect, but it literally took months before I figured it out. This all worked thanks to the Wii U Gamepad. The Wii U gets a lot of flack for not using its gimmick often enough, but seeing how its sequel performs with just button inputs shows just how well the control scheme worked here. I mean, in the first game, you didn't know what would happen if you shook that donut. But in the sequel, you're pretty much told what you can do with everything from the get-go, which, while practical, doesn't really seem as fun to me. Want to know something else this game had over the sequel? Costumes. By scanning an amiibo and completing certain courses, you could unlock characters to transform into. Even the sound effects would be changed. This not only led to some neat themed courses, but it also let creators have more freedom with the stage design. See, wearing a costume has the benefits of getting a mushroom while still making you only 1 block tall. I remember one level in particular where it was a spoof on Mission Impossible. You snuck into this building, then went down the halls pretending to be different enemies and objects, even controlling a trio of characters at once. It was amazing. My first level was a temple that you ran through as Mr. Zelda himself. Granted, it wasn't that good design-wise, but it was fun to make. Another aspect I loved about the game, the 100 Mario Challenge. Basically, you're given 100 lives and need to complete a certain amount of levels. You can set the difficulty and it curates the courses based on the clear percentage. This by far was my favorite way to find new levels. Normally when browsing levels, I tend to feel lost, like I'm just kinda aimlessly clicking on stuff. You can even go on a website to bookmark stuff you liked, but I think I used it like once. Really, it fell victim to the same problem that there really wasn't much organization. So really, just throwing the dice and challenging yourself was the best way to play the game in my opinion. Of course, not all the courses were fun. When releasing a level creation tool to the public, there aren't going to be a lot of normal levels to play. Like, you may think, oh, I'm just gonna sit down and play some fun Mario levels, but you gotta realize that most levels fall into a few categories. You've got the boring levels, the stupidly easy levels, the stupidly hard and unfair levels, the music levels, and the auto levels. I should probably explain those last two. Music levels are where you either walk or run across the stage and a bunch of music blocks play a song. Gotta break out the headphones for this. Auto levels are where the game literally plays itself. Usually there's a bunch of cool visual things going on, but it's not that engaging. The problem though is that these two types of levels had close to 100% clear rates, thus leading to massive praise. Now don't get me wrong, these levels clearly took a lot of skill to make, but there was a serious saturation problem with these things. Like, wow, another level where I do nothing, what a great game. All these mediocre to bad levels ended up flooding the 100 Mario Challenge, and it led to a pretty big problem. Choose easy or normal difficulties, and you'd breeze through with simple and boring levels. Choose expert though, and all the trolls, poor stage design, and brutally difficult bullcrap would be 90% of the stuff you got. It was mostly a lose-lose situation. It wasn't all negativity though. You could play individual courses you found online, and Nintendo themselves uploaded themed levels every so often. Not to mention, even with all the nonsense that filled the challenge, it was especially fun to try with other people. Plus, even if you were offline, you still had a handful of sample courses that you could casually run through, including special challenge stages designed for the Nintendo World Championships. In fact, there was even a neat reward you could unlock by playing through all the courses. Not to mention, you could download any online stuff you liked. But I think there's one thing that tied the whole experience together. Its personality. Even in the startup screen, there are different animations that'll play depending on what day it is. I always found it funny how the game would wish you a happy Sunday every week. Like, it was just kinda wacky to see. And the title screen had just as much character. When you touch a title with the gamepad, each letter would do something different. And you could even play a course like normal on the title screen itself. And all this stuff extends to the editor too. I already mentioned you can shake stuff, but did you know there's a hidden costume you can unlock? You first shake a muncher, enter the fly minigame, beat it, and then as a reward, you unlock Builder Mario. Now that's one of the big secrets, but there are tons of little touches the developers added too. For example, when you place a block, the game will sort of auto-tune its name to the music. And when you fall down a pit, there's a small chance you'll hear a random scene play out. All the UI is fun, like the undo button being a dog, or the clear button being a rocket ship that tears everything apart. I know a lot of this weird stuff came over from Mario Paint, but this was just so fun to mess with that it really wouldn't matter one way or the other, and I'm glad they brought it over to the sequel. Lastly, I want to talk about the community. The Wii U may have been a financial failure, but the community around this game was insane. So many YouTubers and streamers were playing this game, and every time an update dropped, you would see even wackier levels get played. That in turn inspired more people, and it just fed into this upward spiral. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that this and Splatoon were the only things keeping Nintendo relevant before the Switch released. You know, when Mario Maker 2 released, I think everyone kind of expected it to blow up the way the first game did. And I mean, yeah, it was successful, but it seemed that outside of a dedicated community, people just kind of forgot about it. And I feel like part of the reason was that some of the magic just didn't come back. Like, compared to the first game, the sequel feels almost like an obligation. Yeah, it has a bunch of added assets for you to play around with, but not only does the online mode frequently decide not to work, but they cut several options which made the first game so replayable. It still baffles me to this day why they removed the 100 Mario Challenge, or took away all but a few of the costumes. Again, not to say that the sequel is bad, but there was just something about the original that it just couldn't quite replicate. When the game shuts down, it'll be the end of something. Yeah, I know almost everyone has moved on, but I'll never forget sitting on the couch with friends and family trying to beat expert mode, so as one last hurrah, I've made one final level to upload before the servers shut down. If you feel like digging out the Wii U to play it, I hope you find it fun. But until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.